In general, he shows up to wherever he's been invited with basically just the scripts that he has put together in his hand. And then he finds among local people some people with just a little inclination to take part in a drama that will be put together in 2 or 3 days. It's outstanding. And you might think it's impossible, but he pulls it off beyond compare. And finally, Bhakti Mark Swami has achieved a remarkable feat in 1996 when he went the way of a pilgrim and walked on foot across country from west to east, and then back for a return journey from Cape Spear, Newfoundland to Vancouver Island in 2003, going full circle. He likes to share his unique experiences and fond memories on the road after trekking 16,000 kilometers. In fact, he's a constant feature on The Longest Road. It's a recent National Film Board documentary detailing the history of people who shaped or were shaped by the Trans-Canadian Highway, the world's longest continuous maintained road. I can personally only express my unlimited appreciation for the decades of service offered to ISKCON and its membership, and particularly the youth, by this incredibly talented personality. And I am personally very, very grateful that he walked into my life. So I now welcome His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami.
Thank you so much, Malati. And all I can say is, wow, that was a little over the top. I hope everyone can hear me okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure and an honor for me to be asked to be part of this presentation today. I'm with you for a limited time. We're doing a kirtan for Bangladesh in a little short while. Thank you, everyone, and Hare Krishna, Prabhupada Ki Jai. I know you have a long lineup there, from my understanding, and so I won't be too long, but I did write a poem called Krsnanandini, and some of you may have read it already, but I thought I should pass it on to those whose it didn't land on their ears. Also, I have a slight speech defect. My temporary bridge popped out of my mouth today, so I might be lisping a little bit. I'm getting it fixed tomorrow. So here we go. I'll read this and then I'll say a few words. Krsnanandini, a motherly type of moral strength, a person whose devotion was of great length. It was hard for her to see others suffer. Her words and actions were always a buffer, always there to encourage the other. She was the soul sister, Tariq, the soul brother. Believing in the family as the human backbone was a solution to those prone to be alone. Interfaith work was to bring the holy together. Love is the same that acts as a tether, a speaker, a teacher, and everyone's friend, a devotee whose love for humanity comes to no end, an inspiration, and surely Prabhupada's daughter. He gave such mercy in all he taught her. She will leave sublime memories behind, will oblige to please her by being very kind. Thank you. That's my little poem. And I have had the good pleasure to visit Cleveland, Ohio for a number of years and meet with the devotees there. As was mentioned, I was raised in Chatham, Ontario. I grew up on the other side of Lake Erie, and on a nice summer nighttime, you can actually see the lights of Cleveland across the lake from where I was. And as kids, when we were growing up, television stations were stationed from Cleveland. So even in Canada, anything for kids programming came from Cleveland. So we had that special connection. So I'd stand at the edge of Lake Erie and listen to the waves sort of, just, what do they call it? Just slightly moving on the edge of the beach. And I would see the lights and I said, I wonder who's out there on that other side, in that other country there, south of us. What kind of people are there? We used to hear about Holy Toledo. I guess there must be holy people all over there in Ohio. And then, of course, I joined the Hare Krishna movement, and I got to know some great luminaries came from that place, such as Bhaktivedanta Swami. And I had the pleasure to, when I walked across the U.S. to go to his school, his very special, a school for gifted, at least young men. And I had a chance to look at his the yearbook where they gave a description of him. They did describe him as being extremely flamboyant, outgoing, extroverted, jolly, happy. Everyone loved him. And then with my visits to Cleveland, I also got to know another person who lived there and was born and raised there, to my knowledge. We used to go to Dayal Nitai's place, and Dayal Nitai was kind of a rocker, heavy metal musician, super nice guy, and he was holding weekly functions. So the person who used to come and visit us there, or visit his place, was Krsnanandini and her fabulous husband, Tariq. And, being in their presence, whether you're with a group of people or just sitting alone with them, you felt so kind of comfortable and at home. I guess they're the most homey kind of people you could ever meet. And that's why I mentioned that little poem about being very much behind the family unit, an area, a subject matter that is sometimes grossly misunderstood in our glorious Hare Krishna movement. We sometimes find devotees have misunderstood the role of the family and how important that particular part of our social structure plays in shaping and molding a person to be a righteous human being. So I always appreciated what that couple has done to establish this this sort of branch or arm of the Hare Krishna movement, the Grahasta Vision team, along with their friends. They've done tremendous work by putting an endorsement to the family and the importance behind having that wholesome family outlook on life. Apart from that, I've been also attending some of the Rath Yatras in the Cleveland area, and Krsnanandini would sometimes lead. I remember there was a point where we were waiting for Akilananda. It took a little time. I think you're on there. It took about 3 hours to get the Rath together. And I know I was leading the kirtan for about 3 hours. And it was Krsnanandini who gave me a break. And when the microphone went her way, she did sing like a soul sister. I think she was like the Aretha Franklin of Cleveland or something. I just have so much respect for her and her entire family. I've had a chance to meet some of the kids on and off. What a great job they have done. What an amazing, let's say, milestone this family is. Like we can show them off and say, this is Krishna consciousness in a nutshell. This beautiful and pretty expanded family. And look at the quality of people that are there. The love and kindness and care that exudes from this amazing couple is, I would say, so it's rare to find in our society. And I hope that we will learn from our mistakes to follow in their footsteps. So apart from there being so much behind the family unit, I can appreciate their saintliness, especially in Krsnanandini, only just because I know her a little bit more. And it was always a pleasure to be at events, whether it's there raising money for the Columbus Project, or if we just have a kirtan in a park nearby in her neighborhood and go to her house and sit by the fireplace and get super warm because of the kirtan and the fire. I remember some people brought in the last time we went to her home, it was wintertime, and someone put some, I don't know, we were using some spruce, branches, and it's not the best kind of wood for burning, but I guess sparks were flying and everything. Anyways, always a good time. The grounding effect, that stabilizing factor that exudes from Krsnanandini is kind of unparalleled. And I just think she's a super wonderful person, like a hero for me. And I'm not limiting myself to just men. I was one of the main people behind establishing the mantra retreat. It was the sort of a brainchild of Anuttama and myself. So I've never held a grudge against ladies. I always thought that they were in our movement. They're just like the guys. And, they equally shared in spreading Krishna consciousness right alongside with their God brothers. And so they've done tremendous work. So Krsnanandini shines through as somebody very exceptional, and we're going to miss her. But people who like her, who leave incredible footprints, we need to follow in those footsteps and do like she does in a dharmic way. I think she's the emblem of dharma and spirituality, and hard to replace such people. So I'm looking forward to see how her children will do, and again, because they were shaped by her and her husband Tariq, and they're just outstanding. And I think that this is a great contribution to the world of what we call Kali Yuga, which is would be becoming so decadent by the day. So to have people going against the grain, against the current, and doing something quite opposite, and shining through as real proper people, encouraging, loving kind of people, it's rare to find. And it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, hard to find such people. So thank you very much, Krsnanandini. I hope you're hearing our praises to you today, to wherever you are. And whatever I said, I meant it. And I probably can't express well enough my appreciation and gratitude for your kindness, friendship, and so on. Thanks for being a great gal and a great sibling, God sister. Thank you so much. And Srila, you are Prabhupada's mercy. Hare Krishna. I now look forward to hearing from other devotees, and then I'll have to move on to do some kirtan for Bangladesh.
Hi,
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Haribol. Hare Krishna. Jai. Jai Haribol. Malati Prabhu. I would like to just announce how the program will be headed. We're going to hear from Krsnanandini's, Mother Krsnanandini's senior god brothers, and from our senior god family. And then we'll start with the family, with their glories and glorification for their mother. but we're going to have to shorten the speaking to, I don't want to say 2 minutes, but 3 minutes. If everyone could just shorten what you would like to glorify and say about Her Grace Krsnanandini to 3 minutes, that would be so helpful.
Actually, you should say 2 minutes because they're going to take 3 anyway. If you give
Okay,
them 2,
all right.
4, and we're not going to get through this.
All right, because we already have 182 participants that are on, and we have quite a schedule. So could we just go ahead, Mother?
Can I say something?
Sure.
From the Caitanya Charitamrita, it says, truth spoken concisely is true eloquence.
Haribol.
You don't have to say a lot to say a lot.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So with that being said, I'll let Malati Prabhu introduce our next special guest. Mother, you are muted.
Okay,
there we go. Okay.
Thank you very much for the service. Our next guest speaker is His Holiness Radhanath Swami. And Radhanath Swami was initiated by his co-founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, into the sacred lineage of Bhakti, Krishna consciousness in the early 70s. From his humble beginnings in Bhakti in New Vrindavan, milking cows and practicing in a very isolated part of New Vrindavan. At that point, New Vrindavan was isolated, but he was even more isolated at the Hare Krishna farm. But he has transformed into one of today's most humble, respected spiritual teachers and gurus after accepting the renounced order of life, sannyas. He is revered as respected as a mentor, a community builder, a spiritual activist, meaning trying to get people aware of the glories of the Lord, and an acclaimed author. Rooted in his study of ancient India's devotional tradition as taught by Srila Prabhupada, Radhanath Swami's message remains as truthful and profound as it is simple. He was born into a middle-class Jewish family in Chicago, and he became active in the late 60s and early 70s in civil rights activities. But he discovered that the social transformation begins with personal change. And at the age of 19, he embarked upon a personal quest for the meaning of life. And this is detailed in A Journey Home, autobiography of an American yogi. So he travels widely, although of course right now he's traveling on Zoom, and he teaches the Krishna consciousness philosophy and spirituality to countries all over the world. And he's been featured as a guest speaker in universities and in corporations and on many television stations worldwide. And while practicing and maintaining his rigorous practice as a Vaishnava monk, Radhanath Swami is also able to speak universal principles of spirituality that cut across the faith spectrums and transcend sectarian differences. On a personal note, I am profoundly grateful for the care and guidance Maharajas bestowed upon me during my own Krishna conscious attempts and activities. Thus, it's with great honor and respect that I introduce His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyata Deshatharine Bansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patithanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I am truly grateful to be here with all of you Especially grateful for those who have organized this event. This type of gathering is one of the most important things we could do in our lives. To actually come together to appreciate and celebrate those devotees who have given their hearts in the loving service of the Lord. Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught us how to be devotees. And so much of the biographies of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are Lord Chaitanya glorifying those devotees who have given their hearts to serving him, and how the devotees would take pleasure in appreciating one another. And especially at a time when a very great, sincere devotee departs from the world, it is one of the most unifying, sanctifying, and important devotional practices for all of us to have gatherings like we're having today. In my personal opinion, Cleveland is a holy place. It is the birthplace of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, of Her Grace Krsnanandini Devi Prabhu, and many other great devotees. Krsnanandini Devi, in her sincere surrender and dedication to Srila Prabhupada, she really was seeking the essence of how to best serve him. And she did. The very heart of our movement, our communities, is families. How to build our communities and families on a foundation of spiritual values, spiritual practice, and relationships. Krsnanandini Devi, she traveled the world. She gave seminars, lectures, wrote many books. She helped to organize the Grihastha Vision Team, and most of all, her example. She was not judgmental. She was really a well-wisher for everyone. She, as Bhakti Marg Swami Maharaj has so graciously and eloquently described, she crossed all boundaries of limitations of the extent of a Vaishnava's compassion. As a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, as a god sister, as a wife, a mother, she was always there for everyone, always enthusiastic, always so positive, not concerned with petty fault-finding or complaining. She loved devotees. In fact, she loved people beyond all sectarian boundaries, beyond differences. And this is how she showed her love for Srila Prabhupada. And we can know for sure that Shri Radha Murlidhar are showering their infinite blessings upon her. On a personal level, she had such a natural devotional way of having relationships with others. In regard to myself, she could simultaneously respect me as a sannyasi. She could respect the particular rules of a sannyasi in relationship to ladies. And at the same time, She could be a most loving, humorous God sister, and have such a motherly, caring attitude to protect me. And this is something that I will cherish in my heart and my soul forever. Krsnanandini Devi is truly a great soul. And what Srila Prabhupada wanted devotees to be, she so much personifies in her dedication, her love, her compassion. And to her family, I share your grief in separation from her. Let the tears of our feelings of separation celebrate her glorious, exemplary, compassionate life. And let us all strive to glorify her by trying to imbibe and carry on the legacy of her love and devotion. Thank you very much.
Haribol. Hare Krishna. Malati Prabhu.
Did you read my message to you?
No. No, I didn't. I was too busy listening to Maharaj.
Just call on someone else for a little while, okay?
Jai.
For some of the others, because I know many people
Jai Prabhu.
haven't had the opportunity to speak at other memorials. So,
All right, we shall continue. I noticed that there was Bhakti Dira Damodar Swami is there. Is he present? Haribol Maharaj. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Haribol.
Yes, Mataji, I'm here.
Jai. Please accept our obeisance. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada.
Praise Srila Prabhupada.
Jai. Hari Hari. Would you like to go next? I would like to mention Maharaj is in India, and it's approximately 4:30 in the morning there on
Yes.
Monday, by the way.
Yeah, it's after 5 o'clock now. 5 a.m.
Jai. All righty. And it's Monday. It's already the next day. Haribol.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj, for gracing our wonderful, unique celebration.
It's my pleasure to be in this association.
You can begin if you like.
Okay. Namam Vishnu Pariya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Samati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamni. Navise Saraswati Devi Gaura Vani Pracharane Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastachade Satermi. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Her Grace Krsnanandini Mataji Ki Jai.
Jai.
It is a great honor for me to participate with all the wonderful devotees present here. Please accept my humble obeisance to everyone. And I'm also particularly very happy to speak about Her Grace Krsnanandini. I feel that His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami and His Holiness Brother Maharajas have perfectly described everything about our great mother. The poem of His Bhaktivedanta Swami perfectly described her. Because for the short time I've known her, the first time we met was when they came to West Africa for a West African festival. That was the first time we met. And I observed that we perfectly became very close to each other. Without introduction, nothing, naturally just became close to each other. And I observed that she's a perfect model. Because a mother, according to our scriptures, one is qualified to be called a mother when her children are devotees of Krishna. Otherwise, just a woman. But Krsnanandini is a perfect mother. She has children, not just children, but all devotees of Krishna. How she perfectly trained them, not only training them, her motherly nature. Mother means one who takes care. The father goes out to look for means for maintenance, but it is the mother who actually maintains. Nature has given them the responsibility. So she maintained the lives of devotees I can see in this movement and beyond. She has amended so many broken marriages in this country and molded and trained so many upcoming grihastas. And although as a householder, she traveled all over the world, preaching and educating and culturing people, not only Christian consciousness, because Christian consciousness, our philosophy is there, very, very, very high. But you need also the connection how to make this philosophy a reality in our own personal life. Modern Krsnanandini, she perfectly represents this culture. And she is a blessing for everyone. Everyone experience her lovely dealing with everyone, like Radha Maharaj was speaking. She cares for everyone. She loves everyone, not artificially, not just philosophically, but from her heart. And we can see that by how she relates and deals with everybody. It is unbelievable to believe that a Christian conscious person can marry a non-devotee Muslim and perfectly deal with him in such a way that her Christian consciousness is not affected. And at the same time, making a Muslim to participate in Christian consciousness, because there are, again, so many things that Christian consciousness stands for, like the deities. But she's such a wonderful devotee as she could handle this perfectly and make him a devotee. I saw how she took him all over India here, other places, participating in ISKCON programs and taking Krishna Prasadam and appreciating Krishna consciousness. This is wonderful, something which is very rare to do, as he did it, to show us how universal Krishna consciousness is. She traveled everywhere and teach people, like Swami said. She wrote so many books, and she gave me some of those books. So the Krishna conscious life she lived, and how she trained and mothered so many devotees, it remains eternally in the heart of devotees, presently and also in the future. And because she had done something which is very, very pleasing to her spiritual masters, like Prabhupada, which is the duty of a disciple to be able to touch the heart of a pure devotee by his or her sincere service. We are sure that Prabhupada has given her a very secure, a better place in Krishna Loka. We are happy and grateful for the encouragement and the wonderful examples she led she taught all the devotees. We are very grateful and we are happy that we have such a great personality in our movement. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you so very much. I would like to bring to everyone's attention that Bhaktivedanta Damodar Swami is a disciple of Bhaktivedanta Swami. So that's something very special. And to have him appreciate and glorify Krsnanandini is very wonderful because she was very, very partial to Maharaj. And thank you again for making yourself available for this wonderful occasion. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. We're going to change the schedule a little bit. I wanted to have Mohan, Krsnanandini's son, read her glories of Krsnanandini. Mohan, are you available? Are you ready, Prabhu?
I am.
Jai, Prabhu, we can introduce everyone to your mother formally with the introduction of her life. So when you're ready.
All right. Haribol, everyone. Thank you for joining us in honoring our dear mother, Krsnanandini. Her Grace Krsnanandini Devi Dasi, a beloved leader and inspiration to many, transitioned from this world November 13th, 2020. Surrounded by family, including her children, sister, and husband, at her home in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Born to parents Bhumata Devi Dasi and Fred Jones in Cleveland, Ohio, on January 5th, 1952, Krsnanandini Devi Dasi, née Clarissa Jones, a devoted daughter, sister, disciple, wife, mother, and spirit.
Prabhu, you're muted.
Marriages as the building blocks of a healthy society, Krsnanandini was widely admired for her ability to integrate spirituality into her various roles. She was raised in Cleveland, Ohio, along with her 7 siblings, Jasper Jones, Imani, Gloria Jones, Arthur, Asutosh Jones, Cynthia McLeod, Solomon Subhanu Jones, Otis Krishnadas Jones, and Aaron Caitanya Jones. Born into a family with deep Christian roots, Krsnanandini was brought to the Hare Krishna faith by her mother as a teenager. In 1972, she was initiated into the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada in Dallas, Texas. She decided to pursue ministerial status, receiving second initiation from her longtime friend and spiritual advisor, His Grace Bhakti Tirtha Swami, who would continue to be one of her stalwart supporters. In service to her gurus, spiritual teachers, she and lifelong friends Kamagiri Devi Dasi and Teresa Mitchell established the Cleveland Namahata program, now ISKCON of Greater Cleveland, a home-based faith community as there was no central temple location. She helped found and lead ISKCON's Grihastha Vision team, a group dedicated to improving the health of marriages and families within ISKCON. Along with her husband, Tariq Salim Ziyad, whom she married in 1992, she co-founded and co-directed the Dasi Ziyad Family Institute. Through this institute, the couple designed and implemented curricula relating to marriage, family, and youth. As certified family life educators for over 20 years, they provided premarital counseling and taught healthy relationship skills based on a solid spiritual foundation. In 1997, she founded the annual Lord Have Mercy Festival with other members of the Cleveland Namahata, inviting various religious groups to come together and celebrate God consciousness through music, art, poetry, and dance. Krsnanandini authored numerous books and traveled to various countries. Her compassion, selflessness, and sincerity were striking. and she left a strong, often indelible impression on those who knew or worked with her even for a short while. Her attitude of gratitude, a philosophy which embraces life's ups and downs as blessings and lessons to be grateful for, extended through her life and was contagious. Krsnanandini's life exemplified service. Nowhere was this more clear than the lengths she went to ensure the well-being of her children. At 17, Krsnanandini earned admission on a full scholarship to the University of Chicago, where she would face racial and gender barriers, including professors who advised her to change her major from psychology, insisting that her best option as a Black woman was to become a secretary. However, despite the hostility she faced, it wasn't until she became pregnant with her first child that she decided to leave her studies. In the spirit of resilience and persistence her life exemplified, she would later resume studies, earning an education degree from Cleveland State University, even while mothering 7 children. She chose to bring the majority of her 10 children into the world via home births, assisted by her dear friend and midwife, Teresa Mitchell, her sister Imani, and her mother Bumata. And against the backdrop of the subpar education opportunities that existed for children that looked like hers in Cleveland, she decided to homeschool them. Her investment is evident in the loving relationships the family shares, and in the remarkable academic and professional successes she equipped all 10 children with the life tools to achieve. Not only did she make it a point to be a present mother figure for her biological children, she also extended her nurturing to the adolescents of her neighborhood and larger community, offering warm food and even warmer words whenever she could. The tenacity it took to raise her children as vegetarians with a keen spiritual awareness during a time when such choices were far less popular cannot be easily encompassed in words, but felt in the reverberations her life's work has had on the greater Hare Krishna and Cleveland communities. Being Black and openly claiming her devotion to Krishna was not always met with open arms. Yet she stood resolute in the face of it all, continuing to become softer and more loving despite all of life's challenges. She leaves her 10 children to carry on her legacy. Radharani Dasi, Steve, and Bhakti Devi Dasi with former husband John Hairston. Krishna Kumari Devi Dasi and Shaima Vallabha Das Short, Lajina, with former husband Valdez Short. Mohan Madhuri Bhishmadev Akinchana Dasbe, Ganga Sarasvati Devi Dasi, and Ganesham Bey with former husband Janmastami Dasbe. Haribol Bilal Ziyad, Timothy, Krishna Jivani Draupadi Aliyah Ziyad, and Vishnu Kiran Salim Ziyad with Tariq Ziyad. She also passed the torch to her 18 grandchildren: Dominique Ariadne Patterson, Marlon Ramon Taylor, Kurt Gregory Jr., Monique Gregory, Peyton Ariana J. Das Short, Keval Nair Welch, Jacob Andrew Garcia, Nimai Joel Welch, Zara Iman Wahid, Shaima Taib Das Short, Prahlad Mikhail Das Short, Rafe Mandela Wahid, Kira Marie DeVries, Marion Daniel, Noah Rajendra Jerry DeVries, Toshani Arya Das Short, Malani May Graves, Aja Nandini Miller, and numerous other cousins, nieces, nephews, and children of her heart. Through everything, including end-of-life trials, she maintained she was blessed by the best. For those who knew Krsnanandini, those who cherish her memory and will carry her legacy of practical spirituality, genuine compassion, and sincerity forward, we are grateful. Now that she has transitioned, expanding her capacity to look over us, we should all be humbled knowing knowing as long as our lives continue to unwind and after, we too will eternally be blessed by the best. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank you so very much, Mohan. Of course, everyone, you know I'm a crybaby, okay? That was very touching, very sweet, sweet. Ganga Prabhu, since you're right next there to your brother, could you be next? Haribol?
Yes, she's here.
Jai Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Welcome, Ganga,
Hare
Saraswati.
Krishna, and thank you to you all who have already shared such beautiful words. So much has been said already, and yet it feels like it is not possible to glorify too much or speak too highly of Mother Krsnanandini. Even recognizing how her own personal journey cast her in a distinctly human light, her towering faith, unwavering commitment to exemplifying and spreading God's love, and willingness to consistently sacrifice her personal comforts enabled her, by all accounts, to live a superhuman life. She was a human being and so imperfect, but a stunning example of what a human being can become when dedication, selflessness, character, compassion, commitment, integrity, sincerity, and leading by example are fundamental and more than buzzwords and abstractions. During this last year, Mata was determined to get her book done. She wanted to be sure that she shared with the world the gifts she had been given by her gurus or spiritual teachers. In that same spirit, today I want to speak briefly on the gifts that Mata gave us. She wrote, "To share Krishna with you, this is our real aim, not caring much for worldly wealth or fame. So kindly chant with us his most glorious and blissful names and join the devotees of Krishna in the prema game." Prema means highest love of God. Mata was clear about her desire to encourage everyone to become a pure lover of God. Her objective wasn't conversion to becoming a Hare Krishna. It was taking whatever faith you had or had chosen to the highest level. Make no mistake, Mata offered Krishna consciousness to those who were interested. She was offering the best of what she'd found, but to those who were pursuing other faiths, the objective was to become God conscious, to become a pure lover of God and incorporate God in every aspect of your life. One of my earliest memories of Mata's teachings is, "You are not this body, you are a spirit soul." It is the same message I would hear her repeat often over the next 30 years to each of my brothers and sisters who, like me, have all been profoundly shaped in myriad ways by this most fundamental of her spiritual beliefs. Back then, I couldn't have known the significance of what she was teaching. I had no idea just how profound this simple gift was, her teaching us in a very matter-of-fact way that the most important part of who we are is of God. Now infinitely more aware of the substantial influence social circumstances have on life outcomes, I recognize that my mother did something remarkable. In the midst of poverty, racism, single motherhood, and gender-based abuse, her belief system created a buffer, a space in which her children could develop and discover themselves largely outside of social forces that have a particularly brutal way of constructing crippling realities. In giving us an alternative way to identify ourselves, she taught us that we are much more products of our beliefs than our environments, and effectively empowered us to change the world. These beliefs, which she masterfully taught first and foremost through example and without imposition, were another of her generously given gifts. The belief that our lives should be spent in service of the Lord and his sincere servants was transformative in its practical application. Because it meant treating people a certain way. It meant thinking carefully about our responsibility to care for the earth and animals. It meant always, always finding the next best way to live our principles. The belief that our best hope for happiness is to be loving and compassionate to everyone, framed by Mata as the only thing that would allow us passage back to our original positions with God, gave all of us reasons to try our best to always be loving in a world that often teaches otherwise. Mata taught us that you can strategically yield battles to win the war. You may lose, but it is all right to yield a bit. And I'm not speaking of accepting abuse, but rather the little contests we have with others, even and perhaps especially with people we love and who love us. Contests that don't involve violations of principles or surrendering oneself, but rather contests of willpower that occur between any two people in any relationship simply because we are separate individuals. Where you sometimes feel you have to carve out some space for you and be recognized like, hey, I'm right here. It is all right to yield that space, she taught. It is all right to say, I'm going to let you have this, and not so I can hold it over your head later, and not so I can say on the next issue that it's my turn, but rather so that I can be a bigger version of myself, and in so doing, be a better version of myself. In this way, she taught us to turn yielding and apparent losing into winning and ultimately victory. Krsnanandini means one who gives joy to God. In my heart, I know she has lived a life fulfilling her name. Never let it be said that one person can't change the world. Mother Krsnanandini has indisputably done that, and I am so blessed to call this great soul mother. She is not here physically, but she is not gone. She, like her beloved Srila Prabhupada, fanned the spark in all of us here. To those who would follow her footsteps and carry her legacy forward, Mata was herself following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, of Bhaktivedanta Swami, of Mother Bhumata. The question isn't, how do I become this person? You don't and you can't. A better question is, how do I represent this person? How do I, in different circumstances and with different experiences, move through life representing these great people who came before me? How do I represent and realize the philosophy? Amazingly, the answer is in asking the questions over and over every day. How do I demonstrate dedication, selflessness, better character, integrity, compassion, sincerity? How do I lead by example? How do these values apply every day in my roles as sisters or brothers, as daughters or sons, aunts or uncles, devotees, and much more broadly as fellow travelers on this road of life? How do I ensure that I am choosing to become a bigger and better version of myself always? How do I incorporate God consciousness into my life? Sincerely asking these questions and humbly and honestly pursuing the answers is the most profound way we can all carry on Mother Krsnanandini's legacy. Think about how your life is different because of your interactions with Mata, and be that person for others. Maybe just the few you know well, but maybe eventually, as she did, everyone you meet. Maintain your attitude of gratitude and remember we are all blessed by the best. Thank you.
Haribol. All glories to Krsnanandini. Ki Jai. Haribol. So since we're speaking about your mother in such wonder, I'll let your Bhakti's son, her grandson, since he's right there. Marlon, is he right there?
Yes.
Could he go next? Jai Prabhu, could you go next? This is Mother Krsnanandini's grandson, Marlon Taylor, and he's Bhakti's son, her second oldest daughter.
Yes.
So Marlon.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Haribol, Jai.
Okay. First of all, to all those gathered here, I want to thank you for all the outpouring of love and honor and remembering the life and legacy of my grandmother, my Mata, my dear Krsnanandini Devi Dasi. Anyone who remotely knows my Mata knows that she was a phenomenal woman who lived a phenomenal life. Though there are many moments of sadness and in these chaotic and burdensome times, I can't help but be grateful for an opportunity to speak on the life and legacy of my phenomenal Mata. Of the myriad of emotions, swirl of feeling, and mental discombobulation, my Mata's ever-present love shines through more than ever. Her life is and always will be a testament of what love looks like. Her love for all living beings and grandiose gratitude for all the auspicious events and circumstances was unshakably rooted in her love for Krishna. She understood God so well and taught me that God is our master and anyone who is a true servant recognizes the true master regardless of his attire. Her life and love remind me of a Bible verse, specifically 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 through 7. She reminds me so much of that verse that if I replace the word love with mata, the verse would lose no meaning. Mata is patient. Mata is kind. She does not envy. She does not boast. She is not proud. She does not dishonor others. She is not self-seeking. She is not easily angered. She keeps no record of wrong. She does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. She always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. In essence, she embodied what love is and looks like for me. Her life is a song that I have on repeat, playing through my heart from now till forever. Her love is the melody, and her incredible faith in Krishna set the tone as a stable beat, a timeless classic on my playlist. This Thanksgiving was a little tough for me because this would be a time where everyone would gather and express what we are thankful for. And as said before by others, she would say, an attitude of gratitude elevates your altitude. To put it simply, I'm grateful for Mata. The things you poured into us, the spiritual foundation that you gave to us as the matriarch of this family, the walking example of being a person of faith and showing us that love really is the answer to life. An attitude of gratitude elevates your altitude, and there's not one doubt in my mind that you're soaring above and beyond, shining your love over us. I love you so much, Mata. Thank you so much for never letting us forget to continue to love louder each and every day.
Thank you, Prabhu. Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
That's very, very wonderful. Your mood of and gracefulness about your grandmother is very unique. I remember when you came and spent a whole week with her. Was it a whole week or 2 weeks? I don't remember. I think it was 2 weeks.
I think it was maybe a week for after my graduation.
Yes.
Yeah, when we were folding clothes. Yeah.
Haribol. Well, thank you so very much for honoring your grandmother. I know she's very pleased with you. And we will move on to the next. I don't know who's next, because Mother Malati, we might have to jump back now.
I think that, personally, of course, we're waiting for Giriraj Swami. I understand that, but otherwise,
Wait,
I think the family needs to speak, and we need to hear from them.
Okay, all righty. So I guess we will continue with the family, but we have the other.
Mother
Someone
Isha,
was saying something. Yes, Prabhu.
Haribol, Giriraj
Haribol.
Swami is on now.
Okay, so that was Shambhalaba, and he's going to introduce
Oh, okay.
Giriraj Swami. Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Mother Malati is much more qualified to introduce him than me.
Jai Prabhu. Haribol. Malati Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I'm very happy. Is my sound on? Yeah. So I'm again, I have the third honor of this gathering to introduce another god brother who is significant part of the Hare Krishna movement and has guided innumerable lives all over the world. Giriraj Swami was the only son of a respected Chicago attorney and judge. And in March 1969, while still a student at Brandeis University, he met His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. And from that meeting, he said that he learned more in one brief exchange than from his many years of academic education. He was initiated by Srila Prabhupada after graduating cum laude from Brandeis University, and he was given the name Giriraj Das. Quickly, he became a leading member of ISKCON Boston. And then he was given the wonderful opportunity to go to India with Srila Prabhupada, where he helped establish the mission in India. And I had the honor of being on the same plane as Giriraj Maharaj, Brahmachari at the time, when he was on his way to India. There was a group of us. And Giriraj Maharaj distinguished himself immediately when the plane went down to get fuel in Cairo. And we were surrounded by army people with big guns. And Giriraj just went out there and started Harinam and started dancing. And these people were looking in total amazement. As he was dancing up and down, their guns were going up and down. But it was the beginning of the World Sankirtan Party as desired by Srila Prabhupada. And one of his most monumental achievements was his contributions to overseeing the successful development and acquisition of the Hare Krishna land in Juhu, which is a world-renowned destination, Juhu in Bombay. And he was instrumental in the acquisition and development of the Bhaktivedanta ashram in Govardhan, which is just a very unusually beautiful place. And he led the development of the Kirtan ashram for women in Vrindavan and the Bhaktivedanta hospice and the Vrindavan Institute of Palliative Care, all in Vrindavan. And through his efforts, Giriraj Swami has become renowned for his austerities, his loyalty and dedication to Srila Prabhupada's mission, his ability to cultivate important members of society, and most importantly, his deep care for devotees around the world. He now preaches and practices Krishna consciousness from his ashram based in Southern California, with focus on his writing, personal instruction that he received from Srila Prabhupada. And he himself is the author of Watering the Seed and Many Moons, and is presently working on several other publications. And I'm going to end the introduction with an anecdote that I feel illustrates another facet of Giriraj Swami's deeply attentive relationship with Srila Prabhupada. This was told to me by one of his disciples. A brahmachari, Sankirtan book distributor of Maharaj, was questioned by another book distributor as to what Giriraj Swami best promotes. The questioner gave examples such as Vaisheshika, who promotes book distribution, and Satyanandana Swami, who promotes the holy name. So he wanted to know, what does Giriraj Swami promote? The young man accurately responded that no matter the subject, Giriraj Swami always promotes Srila Prabhupada, whether by quoting him, by sharing a particular pastime or instruction. He always faithfully promotes Srila Prabhupada. And this indicates his full allegiance and loyalty to Srila Prabhupada, which he passes on to his disciples, followers, and whoever he comes in contact with. So I'm very happy to welcome Giriraj Swami to this Sangha.
Well, that was very humbling and purifying introduction. And I think I would rather just speak now about Mother Krsnanandini. I first met Mother Krsnanandini at the 40th anniversary of the installation of Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji in Dallas on Radhastami in September of 2012. She and her mother, Bhumata, were both initiated by Srila Prabhupada on Radhastami in 1972. At the anniversary, she shared wonderful memories of her meeting Srila Prabhupada in Dallas at the time of the installation of Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji. And she made a heartfelt appeal. Quote, Srila Prabhupada has given us the key to happiness, which is what our soul is hankering for. If we actually at all appreciate that, it is our job to share that same love that Srila Prabhupada shared with everyone else, without discrimination. Krishna loves every single living entity. There is no living entity that Krishna does not love. And the greatest service that we can do, if we want to please Radha, if we want to please Krishna, is to share this love with others and to make sacrifices like Srila Prabhupada did to do that. Here was Srila Prabhupada, 70-something years old, heart attack, dealing with crazy, weird people. But he did it because he loved Radha and Krishna. He did it because he felt he had an obligation to his guru. And this is our responsibility as well. So here I sit 40 years later, and I'm telling you all, this has not been an easy path. I would not dare to tell you that it has been. This path has been fraught with difficulties and challenges and pains and tears, but I wouldn't trade a single ounce of it. End quote. After hearing her speak, I was eager to meet her. And so we sat together at a table in the Peacock Room of Kalachandji's restaurant, along with her husband, Tariq. I was fascinated and impressed by their relationship. He was a Muslim, favorable to Krishna consciousness, and he was a Hare Krishna devotee. How did it all work? He said that she was the one spending time with the children, so she should decide on their spiritual upbringing. And she raised them all as devotees, as servants of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Krishna. And we've been fortunate to hear from some of those beautiful children today. Krsnanandini and Tariq were marital counselors, and I thought that their example of mutual respect, harmony, and love, with him as a Muslim and her as a Vaishnav, meant that any husband and wife, however different their backgrounds, could live together peacefully and happily. And thereafter, on occasion, I would ask her to counsel devotees with marital problems. In one case, a wife who was a devotee and whose husband was an atheist. Srila Prabhupada had instructed her to show people all over the world how to have Krishna conscious marriages, and she dedicated her life to doing that. With a small group of devotees, she founded ISKCON's Grihastha Vision team, which is committed to strengthening and supporting, quote, healthy marriages, happy families, in a strong community, and remained its president until the end of her life. On August 28th, 2018, she wrote me a kind letter. Quote, "Today we just finished working with a couple on Skype. We work with couples from many places on Skype, providing premarital and marriage education. As part of the session today with this couple, we read together aloud the foreword you wrote entitled The Purpose of Grihastha Ashram, the foreword to our Heart and Soul Connection book. Tariq Prabhu wanted us to write you in appreciation for the marvelous foreword you wrote." Quote from Tariq, "It perfectly encapsulates the purpose of the book," end quote. Although Tariq Prabhu and I have read the foreword several times, we were again touched by the sharing from your heart, the analogies and references from Srila Prabhupada. It really helped the couple understand more the purpose of actual Grihastha life. So, thank you again. We are grateful for your support of our mission in strengthening marriages and fulfilling our motto, healthy marriages, happy families, strong ISKCON. After reading her and her husband's kind appreciation, my heart melted and my eyes filled with tears. And she added a PS, quote, "Heart and Soul Connection, a devotional guide to marriage, service, and love, in addition to the English version, is now available in Russian, Italian, and Portuguese," which indicated how her service was being appreciated worldwide. Krsnanandini Mataji had many children, and she took great care to encourage them in Krishna consciousness, even after they left home. One, Ganesham, had come to Santa Barbara, where I live, or have an ashram, and she phoned me to discuss how I could facilitate his bhakti. And the next day she wrote me, quote, "We were grateful to have the opportunity to speak with you, and we appreciate your willingness to reach out to our son," that's S-U-N, "our son, Ganesham. He is a doctor, veterinarian, who is specializing in cardiology and is working there as a resident at a veterinary clinic. Here are his contact details." And then she ended, "May you always be peaceful, living under the protection of our sweet Lord Krishna." So Ganesham had a loving mother who wanted him to be not only materially successful, but also Krishna conscious. Later in Dallas, her son, Shyamasundar Dashort, got to know me and eventually took shelter of me. He described his spiritual journey, which at some stage had taken a detour, and how his mother's upbringing of him, steeped in hearing Srila Prabhupada and the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, had eventually prevailed and brought him back. His mother very much wanted to be present for his initiation, and she was planning to come. But her health deteriorated, and friends and well-wishers advised her to go to India for treatment as soon as possible. but she was very much present in spirit. And to honor the name Shyam Sundar that she had given him, on September 15th of last year, I initiated him as Shyam Vallabh Das. A month later, Krsnanandini wrote me, "Thank you again for accepting Shyam Vallabh as your disciple and connecting him more firmly to our parampara. I pray often for your well-being and encouragement. You have undertaken a serious service on behalf of Srila Prabhupada and are assisting so many people to have a good understanding of our sambandha and how to prosecute devotional service and achieve the ultimate goal. This is a scary yet exciting time in the Krishna consciousness movement. And I pray that you and I get to cooperate more and more in pushing forward a healthier, more loving, yet chaste approach to engaging in the Lord's service. Anyway, as you know, I am here in Vrindavan, and Kartik is upon us. I'm so grateful that Srila Prabhupada and Srimati Radharani are allowing me to undergo this serious austerity in the Holy Dham and are giving me the determination to continue. She also sent me several copies of a small book she had written, The ABCs of Chanting the Holy Name of God, one for myself and the rest to share with others. She was an amazing, beautiful person. Mother Krsnanandini, we love you and we miss you. A huge hole has been created in our society and in my heart by your departure. But we will try to serve and please you in separation by acting as you would wish and supporting the people and the causes dear to you. And when Srila Prabhupada and you are satisfied with my service here, I may join you again in what Srila Prabhupada called, quote, the ISKCON in the spiritual sky, end quote.
Haribol.
With deepest admiration, appreciation, affection, respect, and love, your eternal servant, Giriraj Swami.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. I am so touched by your words. Haribol, everyone. I knew I wouldn't be any good at this. I get so emotional. Hare Krishna. Haribol, I guess, Maharaj, that was just so beautiful. That was so very touching. And we also found out things that we didn't know. Thank you so very much for sharing.
Okay.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Jai. Okay. Everyone, I think we should move on to, is Mother Kamagiri there? I just need to hear from her. I think we all would like to hear from Mother Kamagiri next, please.
Hare Krishna.
Jai, Mother Kamagiri, Haribol. Jai, you have the whole family there.
I'm just going to keep it very brief, but one of the greatest qualities in my association with Mother Krsnanandini was her implicit faith in Srila Prabhupada and Radha Krishna, and her sincerity, her seriousness, and she didn't have ulterior motives. She only wanted to share Krishna and how to love him with everyone. So on behalf of my family, we just want to say to our other family in North Carolina, we
Haribol, Hare Krishna. Well, that was very sweet.
So wonderful. We just want to hear from everyone who wants to share. Please.
Jai Mata. Thank you so much. Haribol. Everyone way back at Mother Kamagiri and family. Haribol, Hare Krishna. Jai.
Mother, Krishnangi would just like to say a couple of words. She just told me.
Jai Krishnangi, Haribol, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to share, hopefully I don't get emotional, but I am. But I just wanted to share when we were in Vrindavan, and was it February? We went to Vrindavan for 24 hours in February, and we had went to the MBT building, and we were gonna take lunch, and we had invited Mohan to come with us to take lunch, and we were gonna go see Mother Krsnanandini right after we finished taking lunch because we hadn't eaten anything. And we were sitting down, and we had probably been there for like 5 minutes, and Mohan told me he was on his way, but Mother Krsnanandini showed up before Mohan, and she had a walking stick, and we all looked at her, my mother, Radha Vijay, and myself, and we had looked like we couldn't believe that she had walked from Ram Reti, where she was staying, to the MBT building in the condition that she was in. And she said that nothing in the world could have kept her away from seeing my mother. And she was just so happy to see my mother. And we spent a lot of time with her, even within that short 24-hour period. And it was just so nice to, sorry.
Hare Krishna.
It was just so nice to be able to spend that time with her, just to see how Krishna conscious she was. And I know on the last Zoom call, Gurudev told the story about the lizard. And she shared with us about the lizard who kept coming in. She didn't want him in there. She also, I've been knowing Mother Krsnanandini my entire life. And when we were growing up, she used to wear this brass bangle that said Hare Krishna, but I believe it was in Sanskrit. And I always, in my mind, I always wanted one, you know? And when I went to go see her in May in North Carolina, she gave me the same kind of bracelet that she used to wear when I was growing up. And she didn't know that I wanted that bracelet. I never told her that I wanted a bracelet like that, but she gave me one. And, you know, she was just so loving and so caring and so kind. And we definitely are gonna miss her because she was the second mom to our family. And we love you guys. We miss you guys. And hopefully we can connect and see each other soon. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishnangi Prabhu, thank you so very much. And we, like you, sometimes we call your mother Krsnanandini, and sometimes we call Krsnanandini Kamagiri. So, you know, they're so much alike, so very close that we do that sometime. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that does that in the audience. So thank you for sharing that wonderful, wonderful pastime about Mother Krsnanandini. And Mother Kamagiri, thank you so much. I don't need to introduce Mother Kamagiri. I'm sure everyone knows who she is. Okay, thank you, Mother. Haribol. Next, we shall have, I think that we should, Mother Malati, would you like to speak? On behalf of Mother Krsnanandini, would you like to glorify her?
Who wouldn't want to glorify her? Just very short words because I know time is going and I know
Yes.
there's unlimited people.
Yes.
Om Agnatanandasya Janana Sakalaya Chakchu Maditamena Tasme Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Srimate Krsnanandini Devi Dasi Ati Namane. Namaste Saraswati Namaste. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Ati Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vaskatida Satarane. Somehow in her departure, Krsnanandini has been more present in my life than ever before on a daily basis. Mahaprabhu recently wrote a letter to the it was to the GBCEC and to the North American group, and he mentioned how down to earth Krsnanandini was, like a wonderful, he didn't say this, but I'm saying like a wonderful earth mother. But he didn't realize until he heard her speak in Mayapur during a GBC meeting when she was offered the opportunity to give a Bhagavatam class. Now that's a big deal in Mayapur, in case you don't know. You know, if you're in a woman's body, you're basically not welcome to do that. But she was given that opportunity. And her beautiful words, description, filled with grounded philosophy, brought the audience practically to their feet when she was finished speaking. And Tamahar could understand that her down-to-earthness was not just sentimental, but she was fully philosophically grounded in a no-nonsense manner, filled with love, and she wasn't afraid to share that. She made Krishna consciousness her priority, always, and she made sure people understood that, not in a harsh way, but a very clear, factual way. And she, in spite of having so many children, she included them and pulled them in and filled them with Krishna consciousness, along with dedicating her Krishna consciousness and including her life partner, His Grace Tariq. So our loss is even greater when we remember her. And for her family, it must be unfathomable. So I want to thank all her family members for sharing your mother and your wife, your grandmother, your aunt, your sister, with the world of ISKCON, and offer my sincere Vaishnava condolences to you at this time. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Malati Prabhu. Again, Mother Malati doesn't need an introduction as well. Everyone's very, very familiar with who she is and who she represents so nicely. And we're going to keep it moving right along. And we're going to introduce the Imam from the Bilal Masjid. Are you available? Are you there? Imam Sasik? Haribol?
Yes, I am.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna to
Assalamu
you.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Jai. Haribol.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to give the greeting of peace to all those who are listening on this medium of Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you. And I will say peace be unto you all. It's a great honor for me in so many ways to be able to speak to you all and communicate our family's sincere condolences to our family, also in down there in the Carolinas. But let me first start by reading from our scripture, the Holy Quran. And there is the type of man or woman who gives his or her life to earn the pleasure of Almighty God Allah. And Allah is full of kindness to his devotees. I thought that I wanted to read that because devotee, that word is not unfamiliar with the Muslims. We too are described as an attribute, a devotee to the one Lord Creator. And let me first speak as the Imam of Masjid Bilal here in Cleveland, Ohio, that we offer our sincerest sympathies to the family of Krsnanandini. Of course, 3 of them are my nephews and my niece, but to all of them, and I remember them so well when growing up here in Cleveland and seeing Roddy and Bhakti when they was young girls. And then also the rest of the family, all the way up to the baby, the 10th child. Watching them all grow up was just a wonderful experience for me. And you know, in our religion, we say that paradise is at the feet of the mother. And as a consequence, I've seen that in Krsnanandini, in her raising of her children. So it was wonderful just to be a part of that as now a brother-in-law to her. So I'm speaking now as a brother-in-law who, well, maybe I should quickly say, as the Imam here, we've had tremendous cooperation with each other, I and my family, and participating with her and Tariq and the rest of the family who were here in many events here in Cleveland. Wonderful family type environment and loving environment with each other. And the conversations were so warm and comforting, just to show that we're all one family, that we're one human family on this earth together. And so my leadership here, again, extends the sincerest sympathies to the family and all of you who feel that we all are part of her family. Now, as her brother-in-law, and me personally, it was so much wonderful things have been said about Krsnanandini that it just touched my heart to hear all of the wonderful accolades given to her. And what's so special to me is that I was there and here in Cleveland, being part of her life and being involved with a lot of the things she was involved in. And it was just a wonderful experience for me. But Krsnanandini was a model devotee. She has a sincere heart, kind and respectful, loving person who cared about all people. And again, that was an honor for me to just experience the things that we experienced together here in Cleveland. And what I really enjoyed recently when she was on this medium here, and she was expressing her, and I felt so good and joyful at listening to her sharing with us her experience with Prabhupada when she first met him in Texas, and a man who I greatly love and respect also, with his devotional spirit that just is just something that all of us should have. I think we do have it, we're just not aware of it or knowledgeable of it through education as we should be, but that's something that we're working on And this is one of the things that I appreciated with Krsnanandini so much. Definitely modeled that spirit, that devotional nature, and sincere heart for her work and the causes that she was involved in here in the Cleveland area. So I'm so thankful to Allah to have known her, that was able to be a part of her family, and her wonderful mother also, whom I met, wonderful person. May God grant her the paradise and forgive her of her shortcomings. And one thing, she was also very consistent promotion of one human family and the community of families. So, dear believers, I pray Allah that He will forgive her of her shortcomings, that He will grant her into His paradise. Ameen. And lastly, in closing, I want to say, in quoting again from the Quran and letting the family know that Renee and Jahara and Mecca and I, we're all here, and Tahi, we all love you all so very much, and we miss you, and we pray Allah that He will grant all of you strength to continue to move forward and make progress and make this a better world for all of us. I expect you, especially you, Bhakti, up there in Chicago with that work you're doing. So we thank God for you and your good effort in working with the law enforcement to bring about positive change in these experiencing these strenuous times. Me losing my brother, their father, my sister, their aunt, and you losing your mother and your father here in 1 year. It's very, very challenging for us as a human spirit, as human beings who love just naturally from the human heart. And so we have to be able to deal with this with an intelligent understanding, because we're all finite creatures. So let me close, and again, thanking you all for your invitation to me. I would like to again just close with reading from the scripture. To the righteous soul will be said, O thou soul, in complete rest and satisfaction, come back thou to thy Lord, well pleased thyself, and well pleasing unto him. Enter thou then among my devotees. Yeah, enter thou my heaven. Surely Almighty Allah, the Lord Creator, speaks the truth. Thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of this wonderful celebration. And this is my celebration hat that I got on. So I'm really celebrating her wonderful life and my experience with her. Thank you all again. May God be with all of you and keep you safe. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so very much for that sweet blessing to all of us. Thank you. Haribol.
Haribol.
So, Hare Krishna, everyone. We're like going back and forth now, and we're trying to include more family members in the celebration. So I think we want to hear from Mother Krsnanandini's brother, Krishna Das. Are you available? Are you there? Haribol? Hare Krishna?
Yeah, I'm available.
Haribol Prabhu, would you like to honor your sister right now?
No doubt about it.
Haribol Prabhu, thank you.
All right. Let me know when I'm up.
Okay, you are up now. Okay, how would you like to just be up now?
Well, fine.
Okay.
This is a really tough time for me because I have lost really two of my favorite people on the planet. I mean, it's like, you know, I chose the fog in the background over the bridge because it's like where I'm at, right now, just trying to see my way through. But by the grace of God, I know that he'll see me through this. But I started off to write my sister a poem for her going away celebration, but I found myself constricted by the boundaries of the rules of a poem, and I didn't want to be constricted. I really wanted to say what I wanted to say about her because she was truly one of a kind and totally irreplaceable. So what I end up writing, I called it an ode to a saint. Ode to a saint.
Haribol.
And it says, my dearest sister, I was truly blessed by the best to walk with you along our mutual path of life. You imparted wisdom to me that grew in me like a mustard seed and became a phenomenal tree. As a youth, I was able to harvest its precious fruits again and again in my quest to become wise in my own right, or more importantly, in God's sight. As a young man, I marveled at your accomplishments, and yet, by the time I had family and responsibilities of my own, I thoroughly and unwittingly learned to take you for granted. After all, we could always catch up later, right? However, now that time has come and stolen you away from me, it feels like suddenly the clear night sky has lost its brightness. The shining star is no longer shining. The sunny day has become overcast, like the wind blows colder from the south than it ever did, and the ocean is restless when it should be at rest. Consequently, whether I stare into the heavens day or night, jump in a boat or catch a flight, none of the above will ever be the same again without you, my dear sister and friend. I need not ask the Catholic Church, a priest, or even the Pope in Rome to canonize you into sainthood. You went and did that all on your own. By being a warehouse of hope, love, and compassion in a world starved of those precious natural resources, and yet always remaining humble and putting God first in all that you did. So in conclusion, my loved ones gathered here today, I ask that our sister extraordinaire, Saint Krsnanandini I, will pray for us in our time of need and in our hour of distress. Peace, amen, and Hare Krishna to all.
Haribol. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. What a beautiful,
Hare
beautiful
Krishna.
offering. Jai. Haribol. Whew. Hare Krishna. So, Prabhus, I think that we will continue with the family for right now because we're getting close to short time. And could we have Mother Krsnanandini's brother? I'm just looking for, I think we should have Brother Solomon. Are you available? Are you there, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, I'm here.
Jai, Prabhu. You're on mute. You're mute.
Hare Krishna.
Jai, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Praise Emmanuel. Okay, yeah. Thank you all for offering my sister, oldest sister, this honorship. So I liked what my nephew Mohan and Ganga, my niece, said. All that was true and more. And my sister was so much to me. And I love my older sister. Anytime that I was in a space of negativity, I would give her a call and have that conversation with her. And when I finished the conversation with my sister, it just seemed like I was relieved of everything and felt peaceful and everything. And that's what I expressed to my oldest sister before she passed. And I loved it her. So my mother passed that gift on down, the reins on down to my oldest sister. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful and honored to be her brother. And I love her. I just wanted to offer my obeisances to her before I get off the line.
Jai Prabhu, thank you so much.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Ite Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pascat Sunyavadi Pascata Desa Tarani. All glories.
Aye.
Srila Prabhupada.
All glories.
I love you, sis. I'll be there when God sends for me. All love.
Okay.
Haribol, Hare Krishna. I guess we'll have, we're trying to rotate so everyone to get a chance to say something. I would like for Peter Tariq, your son, David. Tariq, are you on? David Tariq, are you there? Haribol? What about Rashid? Is Rashid available? Is he there? Hare Krishna?
David is coming.
David is coming? All right, Haribol.
Okay. I don't know if this camera is the right way right now.
Jai Prabhu.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Well, they can see me here. Can they? Can you all hear me and see me?
We can see pictures. We see a green wall.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir.
Should we come back to you, David Prabhu? Or
If you can
Rashid?
see me,
No.
I'm here.
Okay, we see the family, we see the children. Haribol. Haribol, everyone. Hare Krishna. What a nice picture. Now we can see you. Haribol, how you doing, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right. I'll be short and sweet here.
Haribol.
Oh, I'll just be sharing just a piece that I wrote about my stepmother here. It's called A Life Lived Well. A life lived well is the life of a servant. That she was. A life lived well is a life that brings joy, laughter, and unity. That she was. A life lived well inspires others to grow into the greatest image of love. Oh, that she was. A life lived well exemplifies kindness and generosity. That she was. A life lived well edifies the life of all those whom they encounter. They speak forward about a person. And as my pastor, Torrey Roberts, would always say, they think the highest thought about a person. That she was, and yet again, that she was. Now, a life lived well is also someone who somehow knows how to cook this big old pot of oatmeal for 10 people, 10 plus kids in the house, and a husband, and makes the greatest breakfast meal ever. Oh, for sure, that's who she was. A life lived well is also one who knows how to whip up the greatest garungo potatoes and fried tofu as dinner options. That she was. A life lived well creates everlasting impressions on many memories, on the hearts and minds of many. Yes. A life lived well is a life of service, sensitivity of others' needs, and a selflessness. A life lived well looks like Mother Krsnanandini.
Mm-hmm.
A life lived well keeps your legacy alive well past the day of transition. A life lived well brings tears, sorrow, and grief. But as my friend and pastor would say, Stephanie E.K., she said, grief is not a bad thing because the presence of grief is the indication of someone's impact on you. What will we choose to do as we move forward? For her life, all of us know that there are many, many wonderful attributes of Mother Krsnanandini well past the aforementioned. As all of us often think about, and as we will often think about Mother Krsnanandini after today, this is something I asked, and I will ask of myself and of others as a call to action. Ironically enough, my sister Ganga mentioned about this a little bit earlier. The call to action is to think about the greatest attribute of Mother Krsnanandini, whether it be selflessness, whether it be her immense kindness, her servant heart, a wonderful worshiper. Whatever it is, take a moment to think about it and become it. Thank you.
Haribol, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Jai. You left us with a mouthful to think about, especially with those garanga potatoes. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You hit the spot, didn't you? You didn't miss anything.
Potatoes.
Jai, Haribol. Thank you so much for honoring and praising your mother. Haribol. I'm going to jump again. I'm going to go back, and I would like for Mother Raja Leela to speak. Are you available, Prabhu?
Shapanishad, I'm wondering if we can continue with the family.
We can. I just wanted to make sure I was.
Yeah, please.
That would be so nice. Thank you, Mata, for being so understanding.
Thank you.
Krishna is the best of planners, isn't he? Haribol. Hare Krishna. Jai. Okay, with that being said, we're going to go back to Krsnanandini's brothers. I would like for them to continue. Haribol, Hare Krishna. Can you hear me? Am I being heard?
Yes.
Okay, am I being heard? All righty. Is Arthur available? Arthur, Prabhu? Hare Krishna, I see someone's face there. Is that Arthur?
No, this is not Arthur. This is Caitanya.
Caitanya, would you like to go ahead, Prabhu, please? I'm sorry. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Jai.
This is hard.
Haribol.
Lost a lot of loved ones here in the last year or so. Mothers, 2 sisters. But, you know, by me being the youngest out of the 8, my mother, Martha, had 8 children. And I'm the youngest out of the 8. And I learned a lot, you know, from my mother, from my sisters. My sister, Krsnanandini, had a daughter right around, and me and her are 6 months apart. And she taught us from the age of 3 to the age of 13. And I went to public school and enrolled at 13. And they said, wow, you're at a higher grade than their teachings. So she did an excellent job. She was so good at so many things. You know, I was really blessed to have her as a sister. I want to thank her for that, you know, and she, as I grew older and older, she would teach me certain lessons, you know, through life that you don't appreciate till the time comes and you have to use them. And by growing up with a mother, Bhumata and Krsnanandini, you learn so many things. And a lot, at first I was learning how to take things for granted. And it was hard to really take a lot of stuff in as I was growing up, because I would be like, no, this couldn't be true. You know, I couldn't see, you know, and they had vision to see so far ahead in things that I couldn't understand, they already understand. And it was something else, you know. My mother used to tell me that, she said, you know, before long, this world is going to come to a time where you will go to a store and won't even deal with people no more. And, you know, when I went to the store the other day and I seen self-checkout, self-this, you know, computers were taking over, I was like, wow, I remember 20 years ago, she told me this would happen. And sure enough, it's happening. And my sister, Krsnanandini, she was a people person. She loved to teach, feed, take care of people. She loved to see people happy. And she would help you with anything she could. And, you know, it was kind of sad because when she got sick, it was to a point where she couldn't help people no more. With this COVID and how everything is going, she couldn't feed, she couldn't do the thing that she loved to do. And that was hands-on with people, you know. She loved to do that, have a house full, teach, we had fun, and that's what she really loved, you know. And I prayed, you know, and I prayed, I say, Krsnanandini, you know, when I talked to her last, I say, well, I know every Sunday you wondering when it's going to get back to the days where you can have, you know, period time and that. And she was like, Caitanya, how did you know? I just been praying to the Lord. She was like, I miss that so much. She just loved people and hands-on with people, you know. So in that saying, you know, it's hard with the world today. I tell my children growing up with their children, be more hands-on. You know, all the texting, all the calling, computer. No, people need to love and feel each other, you know. And with all this going on, it's hard to do sometimes. But where there's a will, there's a way. And we need to make sure that way stays that way. But I want to let Krsnanandini know and my mother know that a lot you taught me, it will not go in vain, and I will pass it on. I know sometimes I can be a rascal. We all can. But, you know, you're well loved and your teaching will get spreaded on. That saying, I'll let it move on. I love you all. Thank you.
So much. Yeah, your sister was very loving. I mean, she didn't meet no strangers, that's for sure, right? You know, absolutely. You know, that was one of the wonderful, you know, unique personalities about Krsnanandini. She everyone loved her.
Yeah.
Everyone. I don't know anyone that didn't love Krsnanandini. You know, she was just so special. So thank you, Prabhu, for sharing that, you know, that loving exchange about your sister, you know.
Good memories, good memories.
Wonderful memories. So there's another brother. Is he there? Is that
Arthur is not here.
I think he's on there,
but
though.
I think he's on Zoom.
Is Arthur on?
Arthur, speak up.
Arthur Prabhu? Haribol? Calling
Hello.
Arthur? Jai, Haribol.
Hello.
Haribol Prabhu?
How are you?
We're wonderful. We're waiting to hear you glorify your sister.
Well,
Jai.
that's my oldest sister.
Mm-hmm.
And she meant quite a lot to me. And Krsnanandini have always been a teacher. And we learned so much from her over the years. And she will be very much missed. I wasn't prepared to say anything, but I was just listening at some of what others have said, and they pretty much touched bases with Krsnanandini because she was a loving person, she was a teacher, and she taught some of the things that I learned from her is that's what our lives should entail. We learn so much in life, and we should share it with others, and that's what life is all about. Excuse me. Hello.
Jai, we're hearing you. Someone should mute their phone, though. We hear you, Arthur.
Oh,
Haribol?
okay.
Yes.
Okay, and so and that's what she has been in my life. A loving sister, a teacher, and she will be very much missed because she was a very important part of my life and all of our lives. And so that's what I'll leave with the group. Because I wasn't prepared to speak anything. I wanted to just listen.
Jai Prabhu.
But that's what I'll share with the group. She will be very missed, and she was loved very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your wonderful, loving exchange about your sister. And she will be missed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I've reached all the brothers that are there. I have, I want to make sure. So Aaron was not on, right?
Aaron just spoke.
I mean, I'm sorry, Arthur, I'm looking at your name and I'm calling you Aaron, Arthur. But you're Aaron. I'm sorry, forgive me. But I'm looking for, is Joshua? Is that Joshua? Who is Joshua?
Jasper, he's deceased now.
Okay, well, all right. So, all right, I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's okay.
You know, Haribol. So I think we can go on now since pretty much everyone in the family that wanted to say something. And I'll give you the opportunity. If someone else in the family would like to say something, you can do that now. Or I can move on to
Rashid, I think, was going to be speaking.
Okay.
Sure. I know he's on, but I'm not sure if he's here.
Is he here? Rashid Prabhu?
Yes, I'm here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Jai Haribol.
Should I go?
Yes, please.
Okay. It's a lot. But I'll make it brief and short for respect out of everybody else.
Thank you.
I love my mom. I miss my mom. And I'm very thankful and I'm blessed for Mother Krsnanandini. Even though she did not birth me, she was still my mom, and the love and service, the advice she gave was nothing half. I didn't feel like a stepson. I felt like her son, S-U-N. You know, as parents, we want to instill morals and religion and a strong foundation in them. So as parents, we can grow up and be proud of our kids. Well, for me, It's kind of the reverse. I'm one of Mother Krsnanandini's son who can say that I'm proud of my parent. I'm part of my mom, and I'm part of my dad, Tariq, Salim, Ziyad. I'm part of all my brothers and sisters. It's all about love. That's what I'm going to remember and what I'm going to carry on. It's just something about calling my mom and just hearing her voice that just gave me peace and made me look forward to what she was about to tell me, whether it was teaching me or just giving me advice about life, religion, God, and any and everything above. My mom was my oracle in a lot of ways. And I'm just so thankful to have her as my mother. And I'm going to do what she asked me to do. That will give her peace, and that's live out my name. Rashid Salim Ziyad. And it means one who lives by the right guidance. So out of respect and everything that my mom instilled in me, I think I'm going to work really, really hard on living out my name and making her proud of me, which I know she already is. But we're all a work in progress. We can all do better. And I just want to thank and let everybody know I appreciate you guys and I love you guys. And that's about it.
Thank you so much. That's so
Hare Krishna.
sweet. Hare
Assalamu
Krishna.
alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. I'm sure your mother is very proud of her son. and you, one thing we want to do is we want to follow those instructions, don't we?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes, you know, that'll keep you protected and that'll keep you safe. Haribol.
Right.
Jai.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you so much. Before we move on to friends and well-wishers, does anyone else in the family would like to say something?
Hare Krishna.
Jai Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Solomon, right?
Hare
Jai.
Krishna. Hare Krishna to my family.
Jai Prabhu.
I don't know where to begin. You know, I'm still young. You know, I haven't dealt with too many people passing away besides my grandmother and now my auntie. You know, but my auntie was that type of person where when you're around them, you feel that person. You don't just see that person. Like you feel that person, you know what I mean? And it was so amazing to be around her, you know? There was no point in time when you were around her and feeling sad or anything like that, because she was gonna be the one to bring you back, you know, bring you back up. And she touched so many people's lives, you know, and I could see the impact that she's had with my family. And, you know, I know I'm going through it, but the impact that she had on my family, you know, I give blessings and peace to all of my family, you know, because I know you guys are going through it. But like my father just said in the chat, knowing that she's in a better place is going to help us to keep going. You know what I mean? And I'm really happy that she is there. You know, I didn't know what you know, I didn't know that she was going through things, you know, I didn't. But I'm grateful for the times that I did get to spend with my auntie Krsnanandini, and I love her, and I'm thankful to have had her as an auntie in my life. You know, she gave me a blanket when I was real young, and that blanket has been on my bed every day of my life since she gave it to me. So it probably will be forever with me now. So I love you all, and peace to everyone, and we got to keep going. So.
Jai Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I want that blanket. Haribol, you know. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for sharing that loving exchange about your auntie.
Thank you for that.
We feel your heart.
Yes.
Haribol, Hare Krishna. So I'm thinking that maybe all of the family members that would like to honor mother or auntie have spoken. Is there anyone else that would like to say something? I see Krishna Kumari. Would you like to say something, Krishna Kumari? Hare Krishna. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're still mute.
I'm gonna go after her.
Oh,
Okay, Jai Prabhu.
okay. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhu vya evacha patita nam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much, Mother Isha Upanishad, and all the devotees and family members that have arranged this memorial for Mata. I did not know that I would be able to say anything at all and not be emotional. Not that it's anything wrong with that. But I just wanted to take the time to honor the space that Mata has filled in so many people's lives. Mata encompasses so much. The word, like when I introduce people, I would tell them this is Mata. And then they could feel her love as a mother, just going out to them endlessly in a very real way. Mata has always been a very creative person in her writing and her speech and her style of dress. Yes, she taught love of God in a very real way because it was in her every action. And the fact that I remember Krishna now through adverse times is because of her. I did have a moment where it was difficult with the Lord because I had to accept surrender in a way that I wasn't necessarily ready for. But Mata, even to her last breath, she was always trying to make sure that we were all at peace. And because she was such an empathetic person, it helped to finally let her go back home, back to Godhead, which is where I know that she went. And it is really an honor to see how many people love her and how many lives she's touched and will continue to touch from now to eternity. Just thank you so much, everyone, for making it plain just how special she is.
Haribol, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Can I possibly share, please?
Jai Prabhu, we're going to wait for the family and then Prabhu.
Okay.
Rasa Haribol, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Then you'll be able to hopefully have the opportunity, okay? I'm going to make sure the family gets a chance to share their exchange about their mom, okay? So I seen some other family members on. Hari, are you on, Hari? Haribol, Hare Krishna?
Hari is here.
Hari Prabhu?
But he's not going to speak.
He's not going to speak?
Yeah, he's letting Mohan and I represent him.
All right. Thank you, Ganga Prabhu. Is Sham Balaba? Haribol Prabhu, would you like to?
If nobody asks.
We are all here together and everyone has said that they are accepting what Mohan and I read.
All right, Prabhu. We just wanted to make sure everyone was requesting to hear from the family, and we just wanted to honor that.
Of course.
Okay. Haribol, Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhu's. So I guess
what
Haribol?
Yeah, I'm Tariq's oldest son.
Okay, there you are, Haribol. Nigel, how you doing? All right, Prabhu. We were looking for you, Haribol.
Okay. I guess I'll say something real brief.
Okay, sure.
Krsnanandini was real special to me in the way that she brought a lot of families together, and especially with my mom. I had the unfortunate, it's unfortunate that I lost my mom earlier this year too. So I lost two mothers in 1 year. but the best thing that I can say that she's gonna live through all of us. And I say that about my mother too. When someone passes away, we have the responsibility of keeping their life, and keep them living. So I feel that way when I think about them, that they're inside of me. And so I have both my mother and Krsnanandini inside of me, and I'm gonna take on with the best of what I have gotten from them, and bring it forward and share it with the world.
Jai Prabhu.
I would like to say something.
Jai Haribol, Prabhu.
Okay, praise God. Give God the glory, everybody.
Jai.
I just like my brother. That's my brother, my oldest brother.
Vida, how you doing, Prabhu? This is Vida. I don't know at what part of how you're the oldest, youngest.
I'm the third oldest of my dad's first set of
Jai
children.
Haribol. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Praise God. I really here kind of hurt. I lost my mom in March. I haven't really got over that because I'm going through a lot of stuff. So I have very little to say, but I just glad that I've experienced Krsnanandini and the family, and just that I just wish we had more time together. And right now, I'm just trying to deal with the things, that's still when my mom's passing right now. So she was a beautiful person, and I am glad that some part of his family still believes in holiness, and that all that should pass on to the next generations, and the next generation, and the next generation. It should not ever be lost in time, that we serve God with our heart and soul and treat people the way we want to be treated. So I know she's she's blessed, and I just it's just some things that's just incomplete, but God to complete it all for us. So just my condolences to the rest of the family, and I'm just struggling with things to say. So I just glad that she has a God's blessing her. So despite, and she's touched many people. So
Jai. Jai.
Love and kisses, everybody.
All right, thank you so much. It's very wonderful to have met and to be blessed by such a wonderful, unique personality. That means that somehow or another we've been given a special opportunity to be able to be like that. Krishna is amazing how he introduces people in our lives to make us become happy. And Krsnanandini did just that. She made everyone she came into contact with very happy. So that's a blessing in itself. I am so very grateful to have this loving exchange about Mother Krsnanandini. This is so wonderful. This is beautiful. So thank you.